shows how intense the competition for food has become. The moment was right. The trap was triggered remotely, completely capturing the hogs. This victory was priceless. It was time to take action and protect the peace of their rural community. The battle to protect the land never truly ends. Today, the fields are... They focused on large corral traps and snare traps along predicted paths. Eliminated the threat, the small town gradually returned to peace. They had overrun the village, destroying barns, farms, and fields, spreading fear among everyone. They struggled to escape, but stand the full impact of a 400-600 pounds animal, while still preventing the animals from explosions while maintaining humane standards. All the planning and effort finally paid off. After the waterhole trap closed, Blake reported that he had caught another group farther out in the field. They are missed new videos. See you soon. Imagine children playing there in the evening and one of these aggressive hogs appearing and never leaving food scraps in the yard to cut off their food sources. The entire sounder was securely captured, eliminating a major daytime threat to farmers working in the fields. Beyond capture traps, they also implement long-term preventive measures. Removing one of the biggest threats to the farms and the villagers' livelihoods. Reproduction rate, they not only destroy crops. That day, the family returned to the countryside to visit their grandmother. Threatened both livestock and humans. That look at the family's cornfield. Honestly, it was hard to believe one's eyes. As the is why controlling the feral hog population is not optional. It is the straight to the phone. When the button is pressed remotely, the electromagnetic latch at the top releases instantly. Each trap was carefully camouflaged near the hidden cameras. Installing agricultural electric fencing. Trap successfully lured a massive sounder. Actions. Looking at the number of hogs packed into that cage, it is clear that if even a few had escaped, the destruction they would have been unimaginable. Continued to attract more hogs, increasing the team's haul. The final trap completed its mission, protecting the village. Most active from 7 PM to 3 AM. The fact that they came out this early shows hogs, the most dangerous invasive species. Without The first trap on the west side was triggered from the hidden camera. Digging anti-intrusion ditches, run and play without fear. Weak point. Use it as leverage and either break the fence Why? Because feral hogs are both strong and intelligent. If there are corners, they will push into the billion in damage each year. In addition, they use tangent-style steel netting instead of rigid frames. It can withstand a reunion that should have filled them with joy instead. Everyone. All the effort and money poured into the crop felt like it had time trapping strategy. As dawn broke, their next trap live feed via 4G. What could happen? At this point, they knew they could no longer just sit idly by. It and perfect trap locations. Traps were deployed efficiently and strategically, knowing they had accomplished a noble task protecting the villagers' safety. What do you think about their method? Please leave your thoughts in the comments. Building a community trap network where everyone shares information about sounder movements and coordinates. Or injure themselves. A circular design forces their impact to slide along the mesh, neutralizing. Why capture them all at once? That is the principle of whole sounder removal. If even a ensuring they could monitor and trigger accurately to maximize capture success. As night fell, the feral hogs returned to their usual routine of raiding the village, and that was when they walked straight into the traps. Harvest would certainly be lost. Right at the doorstep. A sounder of 15 to 20 hogs can destroy 20 to 40%. Gravity does the rest, dropping the cage in a split second. The mesh frame lowers softly yet firmly. Capturing handmade traps was simply insufficient. That is why they switched to modern drop cage systems. The hunt in this town ended successfully. If few escape, they will learn to avoid traps, become extremely wary, and pass that knowledge to future generations. It is not only the most effective solution, but also one that in many US states, laws allow year-round feral hog control, but strongly encourage humane methods. Below. Making future control nearly impossible. This method prevents population an end. with their explosive. Instead of using manual pull ropes, the system uses real-time image sensors that send of a field in just minutes. On the other side, Jack's corral trap, baited with his signature bait, also succeeded in attracting a group. Skills. Don't look away from the screen. Yet they remain vigilant to keep the community safe, so children can. They said goodbye to the grandmother, packed up the traps and cameras, and headed home. A sense of relief filled them, knowing every route was blocked. This sturdy trap added another victory to the team's record, confirming the effectiveness of the night. Here, the peace in rural areas comes to. Good news kept coming. Just 10 minutes staff. Population density in the area is so high that they are hungrier and more desperate than ever, breaking their usual night installed hidden cameras around tree trunks. At speeds up to 30 miles per hour, with tusks sharp as knives. Mine reached the last rows, an entire sounder of feral hog. This monitoring system allowed them to precisely identify hog routes. If guns were used, the sounder would panic, wounded animals would suffer prolonged pain, and any piglets separated from the group would likely be the only way to prevent an environmental disaster and protect community. Out of control. They quickly shifted attention to another camera covering the main trap along the primary route into the village. This large entire sounder without causing injuries like old neck snares did. Habits. Once they were fully inside and feeding without caution, the latch was triggered, gone down the drain. This is why they call feral their ability to escape. They decided to build their own traps. And note, this was not a square-shaped trap. They designed it to be circular. Brought shock. The hogs from the forest had multiplied out. Today, it had been rooted up as if a plough had gone through it. What happened next was intense. Clean, but tomorrow footprints could appear breaking legs or getting injured during panic. For large and cunning sounders like these, traditional and cause severe economic damage, but also carry deadly diseases that threaten complies with the law while truly addressing the problem at its root. There were enough hogs to make the capture worthwhile. This is a serious public safety alarm. An adult feral hog can charge. When these footprints appear, that is why they chose drop cages over shooting. With this method, a single button press captures the entire sounder without physical harm. Agricultural statistics, this invasive species causes up to $2.5. This was a fight for the community, For safety reasons, the gate slammed shut. Look at the timestamp on the camera, past 4 p.m. Normally, feral hogs are nocturnal. Thank you for watching. They will continue the journey to protect rural areas. Remember to subscribe to the channel so you don't. To optimize trap placement, they quickly in seasons, their hunt used no firearms, it relied entirely on trapping. Then another camera signaled activity. A sounder had been drawn into yet another trap. As the hogs settled in, but the nightmare did not stop at the fields. Look at the backyard. Yesterday, it was a lush green lawn. Controlling their population explosion, next year's seeing the urgency, the team immediately mobilized all resources, burst out like a swarm of frenzied bees. According to US